We have time for one more. Hello there.
Hello, I'm Mary. I'm involved in organising Hull's Avenues Open Gardens, which is around 40 gardens open over 2 Sundays. Obviously, we also offer lots of refreshments, but I wondered if the panel have ideas for other activities, attractions, which would perhaps draw in a wider audience.
Okay, so apart from some show-stopping plants, what else might attract people into the gardens, Marcus?
So, food is obviously the big one. So having some decent food on offer. When we were trying to diversify at the place I used to work in terms of people coming in, we had a big chili festival. So it was kind of food, it was slightly different. We had salsa music, we had funky stuff going on, a chili eating competition, and it was quite a different demographic that came to that sort of event at the end of September. So you've got to kind of think a bit left field and kind of shush it up a bit if you want to, diversify and bring in a wider audience.
Fantastic.
Having that competitive element's quite a good idea, isn't it, Bunny?
Yes, there was a village quite near us. It was a very small village, and they opened the gardens just like you're doing. And they had a big party for all the organisers after it had finished, and that was really quite an ease up. So the whole village got into it and wanted to go to the party. So it was hugely successful. And they did catalogues online and advertised it and promoted it really, really well, and had lots of unusual stalls and things. And the footfall they had for this little village was extraordinary. It was an amazing success. So it's a lot to do with marketing, obviously, and getting that community together, getting everybody thinking about what is different to really put them on the map. Maybe a local band or music or something to really get that vibe going. And I think there can be a huge success locally because it really does pull the community together. And the last thing you want people to think is, oh, nobody wants to look at my garden, because it really is interesting looking around many, many gardens, because they don't all have to be designed by Gertrude Jekyll. They can just be fun, great spaces, and they're also idiosyncratic. And that's what we like looking at. They don't have to be picture perfect in every way. So really, I think it's something the whole community can enjoy doing, whatever size of garden they have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's so true, Bunny. And yes, this idea, Matthew, that things have to be perfect, and, that's not what we want, really.
Sometimes we used to open our gardening with the NGS, and after that bad winter of 2010 that we talked about before, we actually put out loads of photographs of all the death and destruction from that year. And you know what? People are heartened by that. They want to know you've also had disasters.
You had disasters,
things have gone wrong. And you learn loads. If you're honest and you fess up about what you've killed and what's died, people like that too. They really do. They love to know. And you can share your experiences, which is really powerful.
Well, we love it on this programme when you talk about things that haven't worked for you. I think everyone takes great comfort from it.
Yeah, they do. But just to hop on to Marcus's point, I think that's brilliant, because I know when I was at Wisley, we talked a lot about audience diversity and seeing a similar demographic of visitor. But when we opened the new food garden at Wisley with the World Food Diversity of Crops, we did have a much more diverse visitor group. Because everybody can relate to food. And, maybe not everybody wants cake when they go around a garden. So if someone is brave with some different vegetables, I'm not saying start to put on a huge menu and scare people thinking, oh, goodness, we're going to have to serve 3 courses. But doing something like a big vat of curry with something that's been grown in the garden or down the allotment, not everybody wants a load of Victoria sponge. And to celebrate other different palates and crops, just think outside the box. Everyone's used to the tea and cake thing. It's very nice, of course, but you can, as Marcus said, attract a different audience through food.
Yes, and it's also a way to attract people in who maybe wouldn't come for the garden, don't come for the garden, but end up then really enjoying the garden.
Unless they're a terrible cook.
Some fantastic ideas there, thank you. And I really like the idea of a disaster display.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Mary, for the question. That is all we have time for this week here in Hull in East Yorkshire. Thanks for your questions and for being such a great audience. Thanks to our hosts, Newland Allotments, and of course, thank you for listening. Join us next week for more gardening tips and advice as we make this short journey out to the countryside west of Hull to take a peek behind the scenes at Myers Beck Nursery. Do join us on Friday and Sunday afternoon on Radio 4 or at any time on BBC Sounds. In the meantime, from me, Kathy Clugston, and the panel, Matthew Pottage, Marcus Chilton-Jones and Bunny Guinness, have a great gardening week. Goodbye. Just a couple of things. Yeah. Okay, so I've just got to do a couple of things. I just need the same sort of ambience. So if you can just bear with us. It's quite embarrassing, so if you could not look at me, that would be Marcus Chilton-Jones. Bunny Guinness. Matthew Pottage. I really hate doing that.